welcome to Love in Black. This is special. Tonight is the Ladies' Night Special Edition. I got my girl with me tonight. We're doing our thing. It's a ladies' night. It's Friday night. It's ladies' night, and we are here. We got another guest, too. It's a special treat. I'll tell you about him a little later. But right now, it's my girl, Dr. Conte Terrell. Look at that. Her name is just as beautiful as her. It just fits.
Hello.
How are you, darling?
I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm so glad you're here. I mean, when we talked, I thought, oh, my God, this is going to be so good. Because, you guys, this is the kicker. Okay, well, let me just kind of tell them what's happening. So Dr. Conte is here with me. This is Ladies' Night Special Edition. But the kicker is, tonight, this is about men. Yes, it's about men. So we have a treat for you later. But right now, let me give you a peek into the window of who this wonderful woman is. Tell them about yourself, Dr. Conte. I mean, she's so amazing, you guys. And I know it's hard when you're so humble to toot your horn. But toot, 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 it's Friday night. Toot, 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 toot. Okay?
Well,
but cheers to you. It is Friday night.
Cheers
to you, darling.
Thank
cheers.
you. Cheers to you and cheers to the show. And I'm so glad to be here. I am Dr. Conte Terrell, and I have been doing counseling, trauma bonding and crisis counseling for over 23 years. And so you might say, well, what is that? What is trauma bonding? What is, crisis counseling? So I founded a nonprofit organization 23 years ago that helped women who have been affected by domestic violence or narcissist relationships. And
I saw that.
That's
I saw that.
And so we counsel, we coach. I am an international speaker, international best-selling author.
Look at her.
My whole life and purpose is to help women to know that they're queens, to walk in their queendom, to accept the behaviors of a queen.
Amen.
And so that's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy empowering you to walk in your purpose, to know and believe you can receive all that God said you can receive, and that you're all that God said that you are.
That's right. Just royalty. Just a queen.
Royalty.
And I mean, I knew. I was like, okay, yes. We've got to have just a majestic show, And we told you guys this was a talk variety show. So you can get anything. This is soup to nuts. You can get anything with us. So you never know. Just when people think, oh, it's going to be this, they're going to do that. No, you'll never be able to put your finger on this. No. So I'm glad you're here because you're in for a treat. Those that are viewing tonight, this is a special show. For those that are just tuning in, this is the Ladies' Night Special Edition. Tori gave me the mic tonight, so check it out. So you know the guy that we have coming on, right?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I know, and I'm like trying to spring it. I'm real big on like surprises and just and blessing folks. So I want to wait to just kind of spring it. But this is the thing. Tonight's topic being about men. Mm-hmm. You were talking about the narcissistic man. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, and a lot of times women are with narcissists and they don't understand what that is. And they start to think that they're the ones that are crazy because they do a lot of gaslighting. A narcissist, first of all, is NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Personality disorder. And so a lot of people don't understand that it is a personality disorder. And so most of the time, domestic violence, the abuser, their number one characteristics is narcissism.
That's right.
But narcissism could be your mother or your sister or your neighbor. A narcissist, most of the time, this is their characteristics, they're never wrong. It's always about them. They need an enormous amount of adoration, attention. It's always your fault. I had a client to ask me, Dr. Conte, when do you know when a narcissist is not lying? I said, when his mouth is not moving.
Right.
So most of the time they're lying. They're saying whatever they need to say to get you to do whatever you need to do for them. It's all about them.
It's all about them. Master manipulators. Master. But this is the thing about them that really blows my mind because it is a disorder. It is, and it's actually, girls, hereditary. I mean, it is a genial thing for the genes. But this is the thing, or DNA, I should say. But I think the thing that really fascinated me, because I started studying it, of course, I'm, getting certified and licensed and stuff, but really took a fascination. I was really fascinated by it. because I was interested in like, this is really deep. And the thing that blew me away is that they don't really have emotion. They don't express a whole
A
lot of
narcissist has no
emotion.
ability to have empathy. So this is what we fall in trouble, where we fall in trouble, women, is that we do things, and you're with a narcissist, and you do things to try to help them understand your feelings and how bad they've hurt you and how wrong this was and why did you do this.
It doesn't
And
compute.
It does not compute.
It doesn't.
They have no empathy at all.
Yeah, it's just all about them. And they'll
all
take
about
a
them.
situation that may be about you
And make it about
somehow
them.
kind of turn it and shift it back to them. It's deep,
Yeah.
you guys. But I saw that and I was like, oh my girl, because I know that with you having you have your books and all. Tell us about your books.
Well, I have 5 books and 1 on the way. And so originally I started writing because, like I said, I just wanted to express to women. I ended up with a narcissist, controlling, abusive. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. And so I figured if it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, because I was one of those women that said, oh my gosh, I don't know how that happens, or who would stay with that, or how can you put up with that? But with that narcissist,
You'd be surprised.
They hook you in so easy and so quick, you don't need the grooming.
You
is
don't
what we
realize
call
it's
it.
happening.
Yeah, you don't even realize it's happening. So once that happened and I got out, I said, oh, I've got to talk about this. I've got to basically just wanted to help women to know what it was that they were doing that they possibly didn't even know. Like I say, you don't know what you don't know a lot of
That's
times.
right. That's
and we,
right.
We attract certain things. I always say, people say rich attract rich. Well, sick attract sick also, And sometimes we, even if it's, something that you don't know that you have, a vulnerability or some type of insecurity, that narcissist and that abuser is going like this through the room.
Oh yeah, he found you. Yeah. And they pick up that radar. You know, dogs smell fear.
Yeah.
Like they know which ones to jump on or attack because they know you're fearful. It's the same way. And I mean, if the shoe fits, wear it. I'm just saying what I'm saying. But the thing is that what's so deep about it is it's sneaky because it's the enemy.
It's subtle.
It's so subtle and sneaky. And so you're thinking that, as you coddle it, try to nurture it, try to fix it, because women try to fix.
Yes.
That, so you let one instance go by and another, because this is all mental warfare. It's mental warfare. It doesn't have to necessarily be physical. It's mental and it's also emotional. And so with that, you're thinking, you're letting things slide, and you're not, it takes a minute for you to catch on to what's actually happening. And then when you start realizing and try to fix it, and it's like, you're in shock when you're like, because it's an aha moment, when you're like, something,
I always tell people it's
something's wrong here. Something's wrong.
They say crack addicts are constantly trying to get that first high. And I said that's what happens to women or men, because a woman can be a narcissist as well.
Right.
But that's what happens to the victim of a narcissist. They're always trying to get that person back. That person who was the person that they showed you, the imposter, the person,
That's the word. Oh my God, that's the word. Say it again.
Get the imposter. You're always trying to get that person back, and it's never going to happen. So the books, originally the first one started out with just helping women to overcome toxic relationships and their effects, because the effects can last forever. And then, of course,
damaging.
Damaging. And then, I have what I call the Conteology principles. And so a girlfriend of mine said, you should do a calendar, a book. First, she said a book about all these principles that you constantly tell people about Conteology, which is Conte's principles,
Conte's codes.
the biblical principles
tonight.
and psychology all put together. And I said, I don't have time to write another book. And so when I mentioned it to actually one of the show administrators here, he was like, you should do a book. And I put something together. That was the last one I did, really quick, just to give some principles on how to make yourself better, your better life, your best self. And that's the one that went bestseller.
Look at that. That's confirmation. That's confirmation right there. Look at how everybody was just telling. She was hearing the voices, and she got that confirmation. It was ordained. It was going to happen, and it did. She got the book here today. We're going to get into more. We're about to go to commercial in a minute. But I just want you to know we are bringing another anointed one with us today, and we are going to go in because today's show is all about men. It is Love in Black Ladies Night Special Edition. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. For a limited time, get $16,000 off all in-stock Cadillac 2019 XT5 crossovers and $19,000 off all in-stock 2019 CT6 sedans. Or experience the first ever 2020 Cadillac XT6 Premium Luxury Collection, only $519 with $1 down for 39 months lease. Or purchase and receive 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. Drive the new 2020 Cadillac XT4, only $399 a month, or the new 2020 XT5, only $429 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase the XT4 or XT5 and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powles.
Welcome back. We're back. Yes, yes, yes. For those that are just tuning in and those who already know, we're going to let you know. This is Love and Black Special Edition Ladies Night. We are here with Dr. Conte Terrell. Beautiful Dr. Conte Terrell. Tori gave up his seat tonight so that we can do our ladies thing. We had our ladies night Friday night. So we're here tonight. Tonight's subject is why do men? That's the subject for this show tonight. Why do men? And if you had caught us earlier before the break, we were talking with Dr. Conte about narcissists. And it could be a man or a woman, but we're talking about in relationships, you know. So it can be a little tricky. It's mind games, emotions, the heart, that's all. We're talking about all of it tonight. And we have, although this is ladies' night, we brought in this man, this anointed man. He is blessed, highly favored man, and he is a man that teaches. He's a God, he's a minister, he's a man of God. But he's a teacher, and he is phenomenal. He's about to join us right now. I'm going to bring him on. You can get him and reach him and see his things. He's going to give you his handles, but check him out at David Burrus Global. Help me welcome David Burrus. Woo! Hi there. Good evening.
Good evening.
How you
Good
doing?
to see y'all.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? Doing well. Doing well. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you.
I'm super excited. I cannot wait. The audience do not know what they
I know
are
they're
in
for a treat. So we just gonna get started. We're gonna get started. Tonight's tonight's subject is why do men? Why do men, and it's like ... right? It's ... So I know we have, being that this is Ladies Night Special Edition, Tori gave up his seat for our lovely Dr. Conte Terrell. So we get to pick your brain and just ask you stuff and go in. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've been looking forward to this. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay, so check it out. I got we get letters all the time. Women are constantly asking us questions. And one of the questions is, why do men cheat who have good women? Wait. Let me get my fan. Let me get my drink.
This is the $1 million question. So I think there are a couple things we should look at. I think the first thing is that men like variety. Men like variety. Men like to men like to experience more than one. And in most cases, what men don't understand is you can actually experience more than one with the one you have. But I think one of the reasons is that men just like variety.
Is it
I
greedy?
think the other reason,
Are they just greedy?
well, that's another word for it. Absolutely. You can call it greed. I think one of the other reasons that men cheat is men often don't know how to. Well, let me give you another analogy, and this is not to put it on women, it's just another look at it, another perspective. When that man was 3 years old, his mother cheered for him when he brought home his first grades. When he went to fifth grade, when he graduated fifth grade, went to middle school, junior high school, his mother cheered for him. When he got his first touchdown, mother cheered for him. When he graduated high school, mother was the loudest one in the stands. Went to college, graduated, his mother cheered for him, and then she turned him over to some young lady who wasn't taught how to cheer. And for men,
That's good.
because we are men, whether we realize it, whether we want to admit it or not, men need approval. We don't know how to say that, but we need it. And so in many cases, when she is career driven, she hasn't been taught how to cheer, how to celebrate, that man will turn his attention to where the applause is. And so one of the things is that men are just drawn away because they don't know how to express, hey, I need you to nurture. I need you to affirm me. And so that's another reason why men cheat. Now, here's what most women don't know. Statistics, what most women and men don't know. Statistics show that most men don't reach full maturity until their mid-40s.
Wow.
And so up until 45, 46 years old, they're still growing up. They're still getting to know themselves,
Sure.
let alone learning how to express that to you. And so another reason is that he's just not mature. He just can't. He's not mature enough to express what he needs, or mature enough to express that he is not happy. And so that's another reason. There are several reasons, but those are three.
That is really good, and it makes a lot of sense.
It
It
does.
really does. Doesn't it make sense?
It does, but I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here.
Okay, go.
You got the you got
That's why we're
here. And so one of the things is, but the question was, when you have a good woman, and I'm just gonna play devil's advocate, because
Sure.
there are women who do that. They do the cheering. They give them the adoration. They give them the support.
Which makes her a good woman. It's part of what makes her a
which
good woman.
makes her a good woman. They allow them, to have peace in their home. I think it's very important for men
Yes.
to come home to a peaceful home. Now, God knows there are some that we're not talking about all women, but I'm just saying for those, there are still men that will cheat, and I believe we are all products of our childhood. I believe certain
Sure.
things are what we've learned. And I believe there's some men, I don't care whether you have Eve.
Right. Who didn't eat the apple? Who didn't eat the apple?
They're going to cheat. I don't care
Yep.
if your wife is as fine as, Beyonce, whoever you think is the bomb, whoever.
Yeah, I think that's a serial thing.
Yeah,
I think some people are just.
Sometimes that I don't want people to misjudge and think that I'm not a good woman if he
Sure.
cheats, because there are cheaters that's just going to cheat.
And some women really own that, and they think that about themselves, because that's,
Can I share something with you though?
Yeah, go
Absolutely.
ahead, please.
Let's look at a Michael Jackson for an example. Just an example. Michael didn't like what he saw in the mirror. And so what Michael did was he went to change what he saw in the mirror. And I think the more change he experienced, really the more he disliked himself, right? Because he's chasing something that he won't ever achieve.
That's it.
I think men, you are an absolute reflection of who I am. And so you can be as good as you want to be, but if I don't like me, it's impossible for me to love you.
That's it. That's bingo.
Right?
That's
So,
rich.
Yeah.
That's rich.
So one of the reasons why, I think the key reason is I just don't. I don't like who I am, and so this is another reason, Dr. Conte, you were talking about abuse. I can only love you to the degree that I love myself.
Right.
So I'll abuse you, I'll cheat on you, I'll do all of that, and it has nothing to do with you. You can
Exactly.
be a great woman,
Yes.
but if I don't love me, it's impossible for me to enjoy my reflection.
That's what I wanted.
That's it, man.
I was
That's
trying
it,
to
that's
get that, but guess what? I wanted it to come from you.
Yes.
Because women have to understand
Yes.
that. And coming from a woman, sometimes they just think, oh, you don't know. You're not with anybody right now. But no, you can't fix a person. They have to be fixed and fix themselves.
Exactly.
And
It
you were right.
starts with
So
them.
it's so important for women to hear men say that.
Yeah, and this is my question. Okay, so for that guy that we're talking about right now, for that one, so we're talking about the immature one who hasn't blossomed yet, hasn't come to full maturity, as in manhood. But how about when you think of, so we talk about the maturity, you talk about this not want to say self-hatred, but just really not in touch with who you are, not really knowing your identity, not owning and having your own integrity. Is he aware of it? Because women can start to see it and gather, They don't. So they're just clueless. They don't even know.
She said just clueless.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
they don't know.
clueless.
Now, here's let me tell you where a lot of women are making mistakes.
Okay, tell us.
I do a lot of coaching. I speak to relationships. That's all I do primarily. And I keep getting this thing, but he's a pastor. He's leading all of these people, and he's an entrepreneur. He has this amazing business. Well, why is he so immature with me? The problem with that is you're assuming that a man who can lead an organization has the capacity to lead you, and that's not necessarily true. You can be a mature leader and an immature husband, an immature mate, an immature man. So you cannot gauge it on what he's leading. You have to gauge it really on who he's leading, and is he leading himself? So who is he at the core? Is he integral? Is he a man? If he says he's going to be there at 6:15 and it's 6:45 and he hasn't called you yet,
See, consciology.
So now we have to ask ourselves. We have to really look deeper. So no, he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it. And again, he won't know it until he's reached full maturity.
Awesome.
Wow, this is so awesome. I failed to ask you because I'm so excited about you being here, and I know the stuff you do. But tell everybody what you do. Don't go away though. We still want you here. But tell them about what who you are and what you do. Just like you were kind of giving them a snippet. Go ahead and tell them about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am an author. I'm a speaker. I spend all of my time now coaching and speaking. So I do a lot of traveling, a lot of speaking. I have written 5 books, and on numbers 6 and 7 now. But I spend the majority of my time coaching either singles who desire marriage or married folks who desire a better marriage. That's what I do for a living, and I'm very passionate about it. I have a heart for relationships and healthy relationships, primarily because I didn't grow up seeing what that looked like. And so now that I am experiencing that, I want to be able to share that with other people.
When did you receive that calling? Because it's definitely a calling. When did you receive your calling? What was it you knew,
I knew at 9 years old what I would be doing today. Absolutely knew it. Absolutely. Yep.
How did that take place? I mean, how did you know at 9?
Wow.
How did you know?
Sure. I had an aunt who was a marriage and family therapist, and I saw the work she was doing to help other families out. And I said, I'm going to do that one day. I just know how God was going to do it, but this is what He's done. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that. Check this out, you guys. So when we first started, my husband and I, like the radio show and all, we would get our, they do the SWOT analysis. And that was to see, our demographics and all. Of course, it's an analogy, but basically it was to see our demographic. And our demographic, believe it or not, was like 15, to 60 or whatever. But they were able to even break it down even more, and it was 15-year-old boys. And so we were talking with the guy that, that our guy that does our marketing guy that does our numbers. And so I was like, hey, help me with this. And he said, these kids are probably the kids that don't have a family at home. So just like everybody watched the Cosbys and the Huxtables was everybody's family, that was like, and I was like, what an honor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what an honor that they would watch that to just get that feeling. They could be latchkey kids or whatever the case may be. So I thought that was really heavy. I really, at that point, I was really very conscious of how we poured our heart into it as far as, our audience and who was really watching us, So yeah, that makes total sense. And you were fascinated with that, with your aunt doing that, because she was fixing families. You know, she was helping fix families, and that there were so many families. People, you know, kids come from broken homes. I mean, you know, my parents had divorced, so I mean,
Right.
you know, it makes a lot of sense.
I have a question, if I can.
Yeah,
Because this is
please.
a question that I'm asked all
this
the
is
time.
open,
So,
yeah.
you know, I'd like for, again, we're talking to, you know, women about men, and I'd love it when a man has his, his
we get it
point
right
of
from
view.
the
Yeah,
source.
get it right from the source.
Yeah.
So this is what I have a lot in my office. Women are frustrated because they're ready and they're dating someone and they're being honest, but the person that they're dating is not being honest up front. And I think that the majority of women would be okay if this is what you said. Look, I'm not trying to get in a committed relationship. I want to do this, that, and the other, so that their expectations aren't, you know, something else. And then they can purposely decide, okay, do I want to play with this, or I'm better than this and I want to move forward.
I want to know the rules of the game.
Yeah. And so, but men aren't that upfront and forthcoming and transparent or truthful. And so my question is for many women clients that I have, why can't they just be honest in the beginning and say, I don't want to commit, I don't want a relationship. And when they say they don't, then don't expect, I'm going to another question. Don't expect wifely,
Be good with it. Just be good with it.
Yeah, be good with it. Because it's almost good for the goose, but not good for the gander.
Exactly. And respect it. Just respect it.
They would say they'll lie about it or not be transparent about it, and then expect more from you. So that's kind of a twofold question there.
What do you think, David?
So there are a couple things we want to speak to concerning that. The first thing is this, that I think men know what they want. They just don't know how to be who they need to be to have what they want. That's the first thing. So,
I need a bell to ring every time
I know,
you say
right?
something. We need a bell to ring. He's knocking it out the park.
Knock on something.
Yeah. We know from the gate. We know what we need. Let me rephrase that. We know what we need, right? We're not ready to be the person we need to have what we need. That's the first thing. Having said that, when we meet you, we know we need you. We know from the gate.
Wow.
I can
Off the
tell
top. Off the top.
15 minutes off top, I can tell I need you in my life. The problem is I'm not ready to be the man that you need. So here's the other thing.
Selfish.
So
That's hot.
Having said that, but I want to keep you here, and this is why I keep entertaining you. I want to entertain you until I'm ready. Right? That's the first thing. So that's why we break up. But I call you back. Hey, how you doing? Every 2 months, because I want to keep you here. So you're here. But the other thing I want you to hear too is that men, and I really want you to hear this. I think this will change things for those who are watching. You have to watch for intellectual stamina. Intellectual stamina. What is intellectual stamina?
Huge.
Intellectual stamina is you need to watch who he is after 2 weeks, right? Because a boy can entertain you intellectually for about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. After a month, we run out of things to say. And so what you are experiencing is you're experiencing a lack of intellectual stamina, right? So I can grab your attention early, but I fade out after a while, and I have nothing else to offer you, and now I'm intimidated.
That's that grooming. That's that hooking.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Hook you early.
Yep.
Got you on a hook on the line.
So that's one of those are two things you really want to pay attention to when you are interested in a man. I think the third thing is this, that I think women just give too much too soon. You give too much too soon.
I say it all the time.
And this is not to demean you, but I think
But they play
give
themselves.
too much.
They play
Yeah.
themselves. They
It's
really
true.
do.
I
You know?
say it
Do you
all the
agree?
time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. I'm gonna say they do.
Yeah, you give manipulators too much information too soon.
But you know what? But the
Yes.
thing is, it's so true. But I'm gonna say this, you guys. The sad thing is, it's so Pollyanna because they want it so bad, and they're so happy to meet with somebody who's, same mindset. We're on the same, the same mentality. We want the same thing, same values, and so they get excited and they think, they've waited to exhale, right? They've waited to exhale, so they start exhaling. They exhale a little too soon.
Well,
and it's trusting though, because they want to have a pure heart and be sincere. But it's all it's the wolf is there. Don't sleep it. The wolf is there.
Like he said, I tell my clients all the time, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
There it
Listen
is.
more and talk less. listen more and talk less. Because what happens is you say they're excited because they got someone that they can relate to and this and that, but not necessarily. So when you start saying, I like dogs, if you are somebody who is a narcissist or manipulator or not ready, then they like dogs. If you like church, they like church. So you see, it's when we start giving, oh, I had a trauma, childhood. Oh, I can relate. I had a trauma childhood, or my sister went through that. So those are the types of things that happen that confuses women to think that this is the right
We
one.
got so much in common.
I've never met anybody so compatible with me. But it's because we're always talking a little bit too much too soon. I always say you have to, trust is earned, and so you have to allow them to show themselves before you start giving so much away.
And when they show themselves, believe them. That's right. That's right.
And
I mean, we're not bashing men here.
Right,
But you know what? I'm
absolutely.
hoping that this is speaking to men. Because I don't think, Brother David, and you can help me with this, I don't think that men that operate in this way really want to be that way. I mean, women want a companion. Everybody wants companionship. I think men want it too. They want what they want. Some are looking for perfection, which doesn't exist. But I think they want it too. But again, it's just a social. They're not socially. I don't want to use the word. They're challenged. They're socially challenged. How about that? Is that nice? Is that a nice word? Okay.
I don't think we're socially challenged. I just think we just don't communicate. We don't understand how we feel, and we don't communicate it. We're great socially, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to heart matters, we have a hard
Okay,
time
that's it.
expressing
Yeah,
how-
that's it. That's it. Yeah,
We're
because he could be
challenged
Mr.
in how-
Pizzazz. Yeah,
challenged.
Awesome.
yeah. Sorry, with our feed, I think we're a little delayed. But no, you're
no
right.
worries.
I was wrong. You're right. Because the guy can be Mr. Charisma, but like you said, when it comes to being able to articulate and communicate the matters of the heart,
Right.
a lot of guys shy away from that. They think it makes them soft, huh?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I think the other thing too is men we're really challenged when it comes to emoting, and so we don't want to see you cry,
Yeah.
right? We don't want to see you hurting, and so we would rather disappear than to watch you cry.
Wow.
That's good.
Woo!
We got a commercial coming up.
Yes,
soon,
we do,
We're
but
gonna
that is
hold on to
big.
that because I got something to say about that. That's
Oh
wonderful.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to break. We'll be right back, you guys. This is it. This is Ladies Night, Love in Black Ladies Night Special Edition. I got Dr. Conte Terrell and Brother Davis Burrus, Global Man. We will be right back. Don't go away. We're talking about why men.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. Drive the new 2020 Cadillac XT4, only $399 a month, or the new 2020 XT5, only $429 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase the XT4 or XT5 and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com. Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. For a limited time, get $16,000 off all in-stock Cadillac 2019 XT5 crossovers and $19,000 off all in-stock 2019 CT6 sedans. Or experience the first ever 2020 Cadillac XT6 Premium Luxury Collection, only $519 with $1 down for 39 months lease. Or purchase and receive 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
Hey there, we're back Friday night, Love in Black, Ladies Edition. I've got Dr. Conte with me and Brother, Prophet, David Burrus here tonight, Global David Burrus. We're talking tonight. Hey there. He's back with us. Okay, so what were you asking? We were talking on the break. What were you asking you wanted to talk about?
This is so poignant for women to get. And Brother David said something about men, and when they're leaving or breaking off something, that they don't like to see women cry.
That's right,
Or,
right.
And they don't know how to emote. So
That's what you were talking about before we went to break, right.
Yeah, so they just leave. And
So they're just, is that what the kids call ghosting? They just
yes,
ghost?
they just ghost you. And so, my thing is I constantly have to work with my clients who want to get closure.
Well, because women get traumatized by that.
Women want closure. Well, I need to talk to him. I need to let him
Find
know.
out what happened. They're trying to solve this
Find out
Nancy
what
Drew
happened.
mystery.
Let him know how bad this was and how this and what could we have done. You could have said this better. They want to
they want to tell them off. They want to express themselves.
Yeah, they want to express themselves. And I'm constantly teaching that you create your closure. Telling him or not telling him does not dictate whether you can healthily move on in your life. And so you create that.
Absolutely.
But I wanted him to elaborate on that because women need to understand you don't have to get
It's not
closure.
your job.
It's not you.
It's not your
Yeah, and
job.
if he's gone, let him
Be
go.
gone. Because again, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yes.
Your response to that should be next. And I mean, even when you see that phone ring on that caller ID, like, well, look at here.
Not even, you're not going to see the phone
who
ring because it should be blocked.
We'll see that
Yeah,
too.
but I think it's important for women to understand that men just don't operate in that closure thing. That's an emotional thing that we have, and we have to rein that in and handle that on our own.
Right, because even if she contacted him, am I right, Brother Burrus? And if I'm wrong, tell me. But even if a woman calls, I've got to call him because I need to let him know I need to get closure. He's thinking, here she go.
Yeah.
She wants some more.
She wants some more.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think?
Mm-hmm. I think closure is it's a solo mission. It's a conversation you have with yourself.
That's right.
Yes.
Closure is not a conversation.
It's a decision. It's a decision,
yeah.
isn't it? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Good.
You don't need anyone's participation to experience closure. It's not a team sport. It's an individual.
Yeah.
I think sometimes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead, brother.
I think sometimes we're looking for. It's not really closure we want when we contact them to get closure. I think it's another piece, and so we got to be careful with cloaking it under the auspice of closure. You just want more attention. You don't really want closure.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
It is, and that's usually it. It is. It's an emotional plea. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's emotional plea on the under.
Yeah.
On the under.
One of the techniques that I tell women to do when you just absolutely feel you have to have that closure, you something happens and you just gotta tell them. You just want to say it. I say text it to yourself. Mm-hmm. Text it to yourself and look at it 24 hours. Usually they come back and say, "Oh my God, Dr. Conte,
I know, right?
So right,
because it's so
I am
emotional."
So glad I did not send that. I look like, so gullible, so stupid, and so
just weak.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They don't want to.
You're operating out of your emotions and not out of your strength.
Exactly.
And so,
exactly.
That's
And that was what we were talking about when I say that. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's what I was talking about when we say that like the fear and the dogs can smell the fear. A man would read right through that text.
Right through that.
Right through
it.
And that can actually that could be detrimental just to your character and just how you're viewed. So 24 hours is great.
Yeah,
just save it, don't send it. Yeah,
text
or send it to your best friend.
Yeah. When you look back at it the next day, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God,
I was
right there. I'm so happy I did not send this."
It'll be bad, so bad, because you're in your feelings at that moment. You're in your feelings, So yeah. Just give yourself a chance, be good to yourself, and allow yourself the time. And just be selective. If I can't say that enough, be selective of who you give your time to. One of the other things that I, high five and all of that with with Brother Burrus was when he said before about being high maintenance. And high maintenance is not necessarily having a sponsor, but it is how you view yourself, because you are the king's kid. There's a royalty to you.
Yes, right. I love
you
that.
Have to
Speak
know.
on that for us.
Tell them about that.
Yeah, I think far too many people don't view themselves as high maintenance. We think that's a bad word, but the reality is, if you're going to do life with me, I think on a higher level. I envision on a higher level. I believe, I expect on a higher level. And so I can't afford to come down to you to do life with you. If you're going to do life with me,
Ding, ding,
you have
ding.
to come up. It's not about being sponsored. It's not about money. It's about living, thinking, expecting, envisioning, and moving on a higher frequency than most other
Yes,
people. So
I
need
love
you to
it.
come up and do life.
What was that? Remember, it was the scripture. Was it Nehemiah? It was a scripture,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what he used as to just bring us full circle with this. Can you tell us about that? Do you remember? Because I
Yeah,
know it's
sure.
one of
So
the
in
speaking
short-
engagements you did.
Yeah, in short, Nehemiah the city he lived in, the city he was raised in, was burned down. And so Nehemiah had a mission. I'm going to go rebuild my city. And he started by building a wall. And there were a couple of people who taunted him, and they came to him and said, Nehemiah, come down and talk to us. Nehemiah said, why should the work cease to come down to you? I'm doing a great work, and I cannot come down.
That's that purpose.
So I think that
Yeah.
you are a visionary. If you're building something, then I expect you to come up if you're going to do a relationship with me.
That's
I can't
right.
come down
That's right.
because I can't stop what I'm building to come down to you. Either you're going to move at the pace of my purpose, or we're not going to move together at all. But I
I
can't
love
come
it.
down.
That's it. That's rich, man. That is
Yeah, that's
rich.
rich. And, one of the things I often say is, the Bible says where much is given, much is required.
To whom much is given, much is required.
But
Amen.
one of my Kantiology principles that goes in line with what you're saying, I switch that around and say, well, much is required, much is given. And a lot of times women don't require enough. And they want to know, well, why do you get men to treat you like this, Dr. Conte? How do you get all of this? Because it's required. You have to require something.
standards.
You have to have a standard.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, even think of that in terms of, I think men, this just hit me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. This just hit me. I think that men can understand when a woman is addressing a man from a business perspective. And because they respect business, because they are men in business, so they understand order. They understand a form of order. And so
Sure.
when you're setting the tone of how you address me,
That's right.
and it doesn't have to be up front. You don't have to give all this up front because your action speaks louder than words. To where how you carry yourself, all of that. I mean, a man will not be so quick to just show his dirty side,
Yeah,
whether it be
yeah.
cursing
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
have a
It's a
perfect
respect
story.
that he will have for you, and it actually speaks to his inner man
does.
to say, rise. And so that's why when you said, and it was powerful what he said, that a man will know off the top if
Yeah.
it's a woman that he needs. Did you not say that, Brother
Yeah.
David? If it's a woman that
Absolutely.
he needs. And so to be that woman, it doesn't mean with the high maintenance, again, it doesn't mean that you're stuck up or, I hear that term bougie
Right.
or any of that. It just means that you know where you're going and your mission doesn't stop. You catch up with me. I'm not stopping.
Right.
I'm not stopping my show for you.
Right.
I'm living.
And dimming
if
my
you
shine
want
for
me,
you.
you gonna send, flares, everything else to get my attention if I'm that one for you. And I'll know it because you'll show it and you'll continually show it. And it's not something that's pomp and circumstance. It's just who you are, and it's the man that you are and the integrity that you are,
Absolutely.
that you live it. And so a
Absolutely.
woman will know that. It's not just something that's gonna expire. This is who he is.
Yeah.
And he'll know how to tell you. He'll find a way to articulate it
Right.
and let you know and show you. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yep, you guys are on it.
Okay,
You're on
amen.
it.
Okay,
I
good.
have a perfect story to add to what you said.
Yeah.
There was a friend of mine. Her husband was having an event at their house, and so there were men there and there were women there, and so the men were all upstairs and they were, playing dominoes. And you know how you guys could get playing dominoes. They were slapping them down and they were saying this and saying that and egging each other on. And so the women were downstairs and we were just girl chatting. And so a couple of me and another young lady said, we're going to take some food up to the guys and refresh their cocktails and drinks and
Sure.
whatever. And so we went upstairs and they were still playing dominoes and slapping it down and all that stuff. And so I was talking to the gentleman, and he every time he would say something, he would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Conte, I'm so sorry." And then she would say something, and the guy would not say anything, but every time he would slap a domino down and curse, he would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," to Miss Conte. He kept saying, and she was like, "Well, why are you just saying it to her? I'm here too." But that was a perfect example of how she carried herself, how I carried myself. He looked for the respect, and so he gave.
It was you're
giving the
set
respect.
apart.
Yeah.
You're clearly set apart, and that's it. And that is something that we as women we need to be mindful of, because if you're just common, you're going to be treated as such. And so, yes, you're set apart. Know who you are. We're talking about men knowing who they are today. Women, you need to know who you are. Let's talk about that. Now, we started the show off with the question, why do men cheat when they have a good woman? Now we're going to talk about what about that woman that he cheats with? We were just talking about, you need to know thyself. You need to know thyself. And so what is that dynamic? I mean, how does the man view his good woman, and then he's got this other, it's got your stable, and I don't know how many he has, but what is that whole dynamic as far as what we could speak to, because we're trying to educate everybody. We're trying to educate the men and the women, what we can speak to the woman who allows herself to be the other woman. What does that say?
It won't stop.
So there are a couple of perspectives. I think the first perspective is him, and him needing to find fulfillment somewhere else. There's something he's searching, and so he needs to find that in his home. I think for her, it's important for her to really get to who she is as a person. I think she's seeking something and allowing herself to be part-time somewhere when she can be full-time for herself first. I think you're not full-time for you be part-time somewhere else. So it's important for her to really get to who she is and find the importance of who she is for herself.
Yeah, because remember Betty Wright, right? May she rest in peace, bless her. So she had different songs, and it was like Mr. Charlie. And, hey, half a man is better than
the cleanup man.
Yeah.
The cleanup woman.
But you know what? I'm wondering, how do women come into this? Is this something that their girlfriends and them have discussed? Is this a thing that has been from generational? How does this originate that a woman would think that stuff? Because I think it has a lot to do with, this is my guess, I believe that it would have something to do with how you're raised and who is speaking over your life and into you. Yeah. And I know
what you see.
Yeah, and exactly, what you see too. And that's why I'm asking, is it something that, because we always say that we tell our, with my husband and I being marriage counselors, that your marriage is your child's classroom. So if your life is, if you're not married, the kids are watching, right? But I wonder, how does one just accept that? Because they may, we talked about narcissists earlier, and we talked about men not being able to express themselves. So there is the guy that is representing himself falsely. Yeah. False representation. Yeah. Okay. And so she's thinking, and then she finds out, but then she doesn't leave. Yeah. She stays anyway.
She believes it. She believes the first.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave, and they just keep waiting. What do you think? What is that? Is that a low self-esteem? What is that? What does that say about that woman?
I have a quick analogy. I know someone who I was at their house one day. It's a family member. I won't put her name out there. I was at her house one day, and a cat walked into the house. A cat was roaming around the house, and I said, "Well, where'd the cat come from?" And she said to me that, "Well, the cat was at the door, and it wouldn't go away, so I fed him some milk, and he just wouldn't leave. So I brought him in."
I already see it. You see it, girl? Can you see it? I see it. Go ahead.
What I discovered about that situation, just knowing her, is that sometimes when we find our identity in fixing, we will attract the broken. And so I think in many cases, we attract the broken because we need our validity. So one thing too is trauma always a cure. Trauma always seeks a cure. And I think you can be raised in an environment where you've seen healthy relationships, but I think when you experience trauma, I think you will go on a quest for a cure. And I think in many cases, it's these relationships that you end up in because you're not seeking. You're not really getting to the root of what it is. You're seeking it's a band-aid. It's something you put over the wound. And so I think really to alleviate that, we've got to get to the root of why we're experiencing this. But again, trauma will always seek a cure. And so we have to really get to the root of it so we don't find ourselves in these types of relationships.
That's powerful.
Right. And it goes back to what I said, sick attracts sick.
Oh yeah, and hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? So this has been a really rich show.
Yes.
Okay, so we got one other person. We still got, because remember that was that triangle. So now we got the other person, and that is the good woman. What do we tell the good woman in this?
Yeah, because so many good women now are just tired. It's like, oh, I'm gonna give up on love. And I'm constantly saying, no, there is a person out there for you.
There's a
good
lid
person.
for every pot, as my husband says.
Don't give up. There's the right person out there for you.
But you have to live your life. I
Yeah.
remember when I was younger, married and started a family, I think we had 2 kids then. And I had my best friend, but she hadn't married yet. And I mean, just beautiful. She's married and happy now and actually just doing wonderfully. But she would say, Teri, you think it's going to happen? And I'm like, sure, it's going to happen. I was a cheerleader, right? Because I'm the best friend. I'm the cheerleader. Like, sure, it's going to happen. But then I was like, because she was getting older, I was like, I don't know. And I'm saying this, and I really don't know if it's going to happen. I'm praying and hoping it does, right? But my point is, I told her, I said, start, buying your
Living your
china
life.
cabinet now. Start picking out your china patterns now. Host Thanksgiving at your house now. You don't have to wait to be this wife, to step into this role, to do that. You are a woman. Don't stop living. Don't start living when somebody comes in to define you. Live your life now. And that's what I was saying. Be selective. Do your thing on your purpose. As Brother David was saying, and you too, Dr. Conte, about the principles. You got to live. Let them catch up. Let them catch up. But you don't stop. No monkey stops no show. And I don't want anybody writing me because I said monkey. That is just a term. But seriously, you don't let the times that we're living in, this is some fierce times. This is not 1930, this is not 1940, and men were men. But even still, there was a romance to, when you think that 50s glamour and stuff. Everybody, this is a dog-eat-dog world. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And so you have to approach life joyfully that you're here and that you have an opportunity and the doors are open for you.
That's right.
Be able to be good with being who you are.
That's right.
And that will be an enhancement to who it is that you attract that is also seeking and living the same thing.
Absolutely.
So for the good woman, what do we tell her, you guys? What do you, come on, David, we need you to talk to our good women out here.
Yeah, I think you can't own someone else's abuse. You can't own someone else's lifestyle. Don't own that for yourself. I think sometimes we blame ourselves when we put our hearts in time out because of what somebody else has done. And so I really want those who are watching to understand you didn't do anything wrong. And you can't own anyone else's actions. Right. What I would say is that if you need to really shore up who you are, I think your vetting system, I think sometimes we just don't vet correctly, right? And so we allow people in without vetting them correctly. And I think a woman who has been through that trauma, she's wanting to know now get back on the dating scene. What I would advise is for anyone who's watching, never shop when you're, never date when you're thirsty. So you don't ever want to date when you feel like you need to. You want to date when you feel like you.
You should be good. You should be good all the way around. What about the good woman who's a wife? What would you say to her if that was her situation?
Again, same thing. You can't own that, right? And so now you want to make sure that you're good with you, right? You want to make sure that you're good with you, but you also want to make sure that you are very clear. I don't care how long you've been married. You want to be very clear about your deal breakers. So
you gotta have that. That's the first time tonight that's been mentioned. That's huge.
Yes, we have so much in common, he and I. I tell women you have to have a minimum of at least three deal breakers because it's like when you go to the grocery store. If you go to the grocery store and you don't have a list of what you absolutely don't want or don't need, you come out with everything. And it's the same thing with women when they get in relationships and they don't have deal breakers and they haven't identified what's important and what their values are. They accept anything and everything.
Yeah, and it's just as quick as women want to ask men, what are your intentions? Know what yours are.
Yeah, that's
know
right.
your own, know your own.
And I always say be cake. And women ask me, what does that mean?
I'm asking.
Cake is good without icing. So you have all the ingredients you need in a cake, your eggs, your apples, so you're whole without icing. So when icing comes on, it makes cake better. But if that icing, I don't even eat cake with icing, I can scrape it off. So if that icing is scraped off or leaves or what have you, you're still whole, you're still complete. Bring to the table what you want to have come to the table to eat.
That's right. That sounds like pound cake. What you think? Hey, David, can you tell us what has been in the work that you do? Because your Instagram, your posts, everything you do is so thought-provoking. It really makes one look. I had put on our Instagram page, it was, don't be a good wife. And I was like,
Wait a minute.
But it was don't be a good, you see, I'm learning. Don't be a good wife to a man that has no intentions of marrying you. Did I say it right?
Ooh, that's
And so I put
good.
my spin on it. I was like, no ironing, no cooking, hashtag, I did my hashtag.
That's right,
underneath
that's
it.
right.
Hashtag no iron, no cooking, no cleaning, for this, because a lot of times women will show themselves as a wife. And everybody's not a wife, everybody's not a husband. But women really, they're auditioning for the part.
Yes.
And it's just a setup, it's just a setup. So what you want to do again is just live your life. Live your life happily. I think that joy attracts joy, just
That's
like
right.
pain attracts
That's right.
pain.
That's right.
And so if you are living your life happily, and unapologetically, not even judging somebody else or some man that comes like, I can see through you. Hey, praying for your brother, I'm still moving. But
Right.
just be the light. I tell women all the time, be the light in
the
your
light.
home. You're going to be the light for yourself, your own light in your home. Know how to bring your own light in
That's
your
right.
home. Be the light in your home. Be the light in your home for your family. Be the light in your home for the man that you're dating. And think of it as a friendship. Be kind of casual about it until he really starts to take it up to the next
Right,
level of how
right.
serious it is. But just enjoy the moments.
Yeah.
Enjoy the moments and be happy in the skin that you're in of who
Yes.
you are. As for those women out there that are, allowing themselves to have their time hijacked by a man that has no intentions, think again and really, really seek your Lord and Savior.
Right.
Don't let someone else define who you are. You go to your master, you go to your Father, your Creator, the one who loves you unconditionally and has a purpose for you. He can define who you are and he can bring you better. Be willing to wait. Be anxious for nothing. Am I right
That's
about
right.
it? Okay. Brother David, what you got coming up? Let's tell the people, tell them how to get in touch with you and everything else. Would you please?
Sure. Yeah, you can follow me on any social media platform under David Burrus Global. I have an amazing coaching program for those who need a push. You want to get to your purpose. You want to do relationships right. I have something for you that's very affordable. You can get more information at www.thedavidburrus Academy. That's BURRUS, thedavidburrusacademy.com. But again, you can follow me on social media at David Burrus Global on both platforms. And so I'd be happy to follow you back and stay connected. Thank you for having me on the show, by the way. I appreciate it.
You betcha. You were such a joy to have, and we're
yes.
so blessed by you today. Continue in your path. Much blessings to you. You are highly favored. God is so pleased with you. Things are really going your way. God bless you. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Awesome. That was amazing.
Girl, see? So ladies, I hope you got it. And men too. This was a show. This was a show of why do men, but women, you can't do what you do if we don't help you. So
That's
men,
right.
women are just as involved. But this is a healing. We're here
That's
to
right.
heal. Love in Black is about having your love in the positive. That's having your love in the black. So we have Dr. Conte here with us today. We've only got a few minutes left,
It
but
was
Dr. Conte,
great.
tell them.
It
I'm
was
so glad you
great.
came.
I'm so glad
Oh, you're
to be
so
here.
lovely.
This was awesome. And
See her light? You guys see her light?
And you can reach me if you'd like to reach me at drcontespeaks.com and Facebook, Dr. Conte Terrell, and Instagram, Dr. Conte Terrell.
You have it. There you have it. We're so glad you guys joined us tonight. This was Ladies Night. This was Love in Black Ladies Night special edition. Join us next week. It just gets better and better. Have a good weekend. Love y'all. Bye.